I like where you've gone with the goalkeeper saves market.
This is a must-win for Aston Villa.
I am going to side with Max Verstappen in this one.
We do not make bets that are not backed up by stats.
Told you I was right.
Welcome to Weekend Wager, where every Friday afternoon we use in-depth stats and razor-sharp analysis to unearth the best value bets from the upcoming sporting weekend. My name is Will Pugh, and helping me this week is football journalist Kwaku Afari, and a man who can spot value quicker than your nan at a Boxing Day sale. It's Betfair's Sam Rosbottom. Sam will be judging which of our punts are most on the money and, of course, revealing some hidden value wagers of his own. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and let us know what you think of our bets in the comments.
Told you I was right.
Gentlemen, wonderful to have you back. Kwaku, we're blessed with Sam's presence once again after a few Mackie weeks. Sam, it's great to have you with us. Are we all in mourning that Tottenham Hotspur won the Europa League last night?
No, I'm getting...
You're a Chelsea fan.
I'm getting pelters for it.
You are a Chelsea fan.
Man United ruined my childhood. Tottenham have never taken anything from my plate. They are, let them enjoy it, let them parade this trophy around North London, but really and truly, are they going to do anything next season? I don't think so.
Sam, I suppose you, as a City fan, a bit more...
Bittersweet week, really. Obviously, the FA Cup final was disappointing.
Yeah.
And seeing Manchester United be the absolute abject failures that they are always brightens up my day.
Used to it now, aren't you?
Talking of abject failures, lads, there was only one football winner on Weekend Wager last week. That was yours truly in the FA Cup final. Sam, your beloved City coming up short against Crystal Palace. City fans probably the only people in the country, maybe bar Millwall, who weren't pleased that Crystal Palace got that one over the line. But I had under 2.5 goals in the FA Cup final. Quite, not the most exciting of bets, as I said last week, but in those big games, often comes in. Same again last night. Kwaku, you were on a hot streak. You seem to have handed it over to me. What has happened?
Gone cold. I don't know what's happened, man. I'm digging in a little bit, and I think when I'm doing that, I'm just falling over myself. But I'm back this week though.
Right, last one of the season, lads. So let's make it a big one, shall we?
Told you I was right.
Kwaku, I'm assuming you done the running order this week. For some reason, Chelsea have got in as the first game that we're going to cover. Forest v Chelsea, 7th plays 5th, Sunday afternoon, 4 o'clock kickoff at the City Ground. Forest with that 2-1 away win at my Hammers last time out. What an absolute drab affair that was. And of course, you beat Manchester United 1-0 at home on Friday night. So you've had a nice old long rest going into this one. Mate, what have you got for us, Kwaku?
Yeah, this is a must-win. There hasn't been too much excitement in the Premier League this season, but all eyes will be on Chelsea or Forest versus Chelsea on Sunday because both teams need to win. Chelsea know a win guarantees them a place in the Champions League next year. Forest need a win and other results will go their way, but it's definitely the game of the weekend. That's why it's top of the running order. I've gone for Matt Sells to make 5 or more saves, 23-10.
Right.
And I know you're laughing at it, but...
Do you ever back your own team?
That is backing my own team. I expect us to have a lot of shots.
That's not saying you're going to win, is it? Yeah,
and if you look at the way I think Chelsea approach this game, they'll try and blitz Forest because doing those tricky trees, they've got a very formidable defence and they don't really like to come out unless they're drawn out. I think an early goal does that for Chelsea. So I think first 10 minutes, Chelsea will blitz Forest. And the stats also back up my bet as well. Only Liverpool with 228 shots. Have had more shots on target than Chelsea with 216 in the Premier League this season. That's Chelsea's most since having 223 shots in the 2019-2020 season. Incidentally, that season Chelsea also qualified for the Champions League. And only Brentford's Mark Flecken with 148 saves has had more saves than Forest Matt Sells with 119 in the Premier League this season.
Yeah.
So the stats do back it up. And like I say, I think Chelsea create a lot of chances and be on Forest to kind of keep those chances out the goal.
I would just like to point out, it was only me backing Chelsea to win the other week against Liverpool. I think it was after Liverpool won the league when you didn't fancy it, did you? What are we thinking about Kwaku calling them the tricky trees, first of all, Sam?
Well, he'll be hoping his Chelsea side chop those trees down, won't he?
Awful. God, I don't know why I went to you for some analysis on good or bad jokes. Right, I've gone Chris Wood to score 7-4. Obviously, he's had a brilliant season. He goes from strength to strength, doesn't he? One of those unfashionable players that football fans like to sneer at, but he has been absolutely sensational for Forest. He's scored 20 Premier League goals this season, which is the most by a Forest player in a season since Stan Collymore got 22 in the 94-95 campaign. And boys, I absolutely love this one. Wood has also scored 4 goals in 5 starts in his team's final game of the season, which I quite like that one. Just one of those little weird things that football throws up every now and then. So, Sam, Chris Wood to score at 7-4. Careful Quakers bet Matt Sells to make 5 or more saves at 23-10. What are you having? What do you like and what you got for us?
I like where you've gone with the goalkeeper saves market. I do think that's at times an underappreciated market for finding some value, but I do think you have found some value there. But I am going to side with Will for this one. Chris Wood has had a phenomenal season, hasn't he? Yeah. Obviously, this game is massive for both sides, and I think if we are going to look at goal scorers, then he stands out by an absolute mile, doesn't he? So I do think that is a little bit of value there. Looking at what I fancy in this one as well, I'm looking at the anytime assist market, and I think I found something a little bit punchy at 5-1, and that is Anthony Elanga to get an assist anytime in this match. Only 2 players have more Premier League assists this season than Elanga. He's got 3 assists in his last 5 appearances, 11 assists altogether this season. So Elanga to assist Chris Wood would be nice, wouldn't it?
Anthony Elanga swinging it in, Chris Wood nodding it in at the near post, glancing header beyond the Chelsea keeper.
You lot just don't like me, do you?
Well, to be fair, all 3 of those could technically come in, couldn't they? But yeah, nice one, Sam. It does feel a bit of an odd game, this. I do feel the wind's gone out of Forest sails a little bit. Do you sort of fancy your team to do the business?
I think Chelsea win this game. It was important the Forest beat your lot last week to get back on track. That draw against Leicester the week before was very, very, very poor.
Anyone would beat us at the moment, but yeah.
Good goal from Jared Bowen, though.
Yeah, it was a good goal, to be fair. Right, as always, if you're having a bet this weekend, please play responsibly and take time to think. Visit begambleaware.org.
Told you I was right.
Right, lads, Manchester United come crashing back down to earth, or crashing back to England, more like. 16th plays 6th at Old Trafford on Sunday. Manchester United welcome Aston Villa. And of all the games that you want to come back to, that really isn't the one, is it?
I mean, no barbecue either. That's the most disappointing thing, isn't it?
Goodness me, yeah. They were absolutely woeful against Tottenham, weren't they? Totally unimaginative. If that diagonal ball to Dorgu didn't work, or the set piece swung into the back post, they had absolutely no ideas and handed Tottenham their first major trophy since 2008. More than 40 years.
He says through gritted teeth.
Oh, tell me about it. Tell me about it. Look, Manchester United, obviously we know what Ming informed they're in. Villa also going into this one on the back of a good result of their own, winning, of course, against Tottenham 2-0 at home on Friday. Kwaku, what are you saying?
So yeah, this is a must-win for Aston Villa, and it's been well documented how poor Manchester United have been, and we all saw it in the Europa League final. I've gone for Villa winning at half-time, 13-10. There was no value in picking Villa to win over 90 minutes because Manchester United are so poor.
Yeah.
So I looked at the market and I looked at half-time. There's a bit of value in that 13-10, and the stats do also back a Villa win as well. Villa have won 9 of their last 11 Premier League games. They lost the other 2 of those. Just 1 fewer than the opponents. Manchester United have won all season with 10. And Man United are winners in their last 8 Premier League games, drawing 2 and losing 6, and they've lost the last 3 in a row. We all know Man United are very, very poor. And I think Aston Villa, if they want to qualify for the Champions League, have to go to Old Trafford and win.
As much as I'd like to take the clean sweep from Sam here, I do really like that bet. Obviously, we know how good Villa are, but I think it was you, Sam, earlier in the season when Manchester United went to Goodison Park that you backed Everton winning at half-time, not necessarily because Everton were particularly good out the blocks, but because Manchester United are so poor in first halves, and that has rang true, and it rang true again in the week on Wednesday, didn't it?
Yeah, it's been a great bet back in the opposition against Manchester United in the half-time market. Obviously, it landed as well against Spurs Spurs in the Europa League final. So
yeah, exactly. Right, I have gone for Morgan Rogers, goal or assist at just 5-4, that one. But he's been in such sparkling form. I thought, goal contributions, not one or the other, a shade better than evens there. Not too bad at all. The stats, of course, back it up because this is Weekend Wager and we do not make bets that are not backed up by stats. Rogers, 10 Premier League assists this season, which is the most of any Aston Villa player, and only 3 Aston Villa players have ever provided more assists in a season than Rogers' 10, and he's had 19 goal contributions in total this season. So at 5-4 there, I do think that is a reasonable value bet, given that we're all backing an Aston Villa win. Who's going to be involved in it most likely when they score 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5? I fancy that 5-4 for Rogers there is decent value indeed. Sam, what do you think then? There's my pitch. What have you got for us?
Well, you've given me a tough choice between the two of you here because I do like both those bets, but because I backed it earlier in the season and it would have won against Spurs, I am going to have to side with Kwaku on this one. Backing Villa to be winning at Old Trafford at half-time to pile even more misery on Manchester United. I mean, it feels as though this is like one of those games where for the fans in the stands at Old Trafford, this is what you could be. Aston Villa in the Champions League had a brilliant run. They're having a great season and then another fantastic opportunity to get that premium Champions League football next season, absolutely rub United's nose in it in the last game of the season. But for me, what I'd like, I've gone for something quite similar. I've looked at who is going to be key in this Aston Villa side. For me, that's Ollie Watkins. You can back him to score any time at 13-10. He is a key player for them. He's had a hand in 14 goals across his last 19 league appearances. He's scored 9, he's assisted 5. He's getting into positions. He's having shots on goal as well. He's had at least 1 shot on target in 13 of those games. I think he'll go one better and I think he'll score in this one.
Yeah, fair enough. Could be his last ever Aston Villa game as well, Kwaku. There's some rumblings behind the scenes that, maybe he's not quite number one go-to guy. Maybe he's not happy. Maybe there's a future elsewhere. Maybe the Arsenal rumour comes up again. What do you think?
Maybe. And his nose did get pushed out during a little bit with Marcus Rashford coming in January. Rashford
and getting left out for those Champions League games.
Huge Champions League games. So let's see what the future holds for him. He's been a great servant for Aston Villa and I don't hate that bet at all.
Yeah, it's just sitting on the fence there, saying whether it's the last game or not. Look, as always, let us know what you think of our Premier League bets and if you're having any wagers of your own on the football this weekend.
Told you I was right.
Boys, you know what time of the week it is. We've done the football, and for those punters out there who fancy a bet on something other than the beautiful game, we go, Sam, first of all, to Ireland, the Emerald Isle and the racing, the 340 at Curragh on Saturday.
Yeah, we're off to the Curragh for the Irish 2,000 guineas. I absolutely love the Curragh, and this has got all the hallmarks of an absolutely cracking classic. Interesting that the market leader, Field of Gold, is the horse who missed out at Newmarket the other weekend in the 2,000 guineas over here. Was the favourite going into it and was beat, but is the 8-11 favourite in this one. Cosmic Year currently 4-1. Officer in there at 9-2. Hot as Hell 8-1. Expanded 12-1, etc., etc. Now, looking at this, at the trends and what I'm seeing in this race and what I fancy. Now, bearing in mind that most of the winners in the Irish 2,000 guineas of late have come from the top 3 in the betting.
Yeah.
Aidan O'Brien being one of those hot trainers, the most successful trainer with a record of 12 wins. He's got Officer in this one at 9-2. It would be an upset for the Gosdens if Field of Gold didn't win this after being the favourite in the 2,000 guineas over here. But I think Officer could cause an upset.
Yeah, fair enough. There's a few outside chance places as well. Rashabar 20-1 for a place. I quite like the name, if I'm quite honest. We've got some F1 as well, Sam. We go to Monaco. It's the glitz and glamour meeting after Imola last time out. What you got for us?
Yeah, and it's been an interesting season so far, hasn't it? In the F1, I feel like it's a lot more open now, which I think makes it much more appealing as well from a betting perspective.
People are totally just relieved, aren't they, that the Max Verstappen reign of dominance seems to have just toned down a little bit.
Yeah, but let's not say, let's not take it away from him. He's still an unbelievable driver.
Course,
Red Bull, an absolutely brilliant constructor with a great car still. Although I've said it leaves it open a little bit more for some great betting opportunities. I am going to side with Max Verstappen in this one. He did get back to winning ways at Imola last time out, and we do have an odds boost that's caught my eye on Betfair. Max Verstappen to win the race and Lando Norris to finish on the podium. Currently 4-1. Looking at the odds prior to qualifying, Max Verstappen around 16-5, Norris second favourite at 9-4, and your favourite Piastri at 15-8. Max Verstappen has won 2 of the last 4 in Monaco. Red Bull have claimed 3 titles there in the last 4. But I will say, and I will caveat this with, keep an eye on qualifying, because Monaco tied with the German Grand Prix for most all-time wins from pole. 32 from 37 wins have come from pole position. So keep an eye on that all-important qualifying. And if Max Verstappen's on pole, then that odds boost is looking very tasty indeed.
Yeah, it's not a track for overtaking Monaco, is it? It gets quite a bit of grief. It's sort of there just for the PR of the race rather than any quality racing, is what some people say. But it's more of a time trial, so you might be right there.
Told you I was right.
Right, that's it for this week's episode of Weekend Wager. Make sure you give this video a like. Let us know what you think of our bets in the comments, and subscribe to Sunsport's YouTube channel to make sure you never miss an episode. Follow Sunsport and Sun Football on socials for all your latest clips and news, and we'll see you back here next week. As always, if you're having a bet this weekend, please play responsibly and take time to think. Visit begambleaware.org.